Steve Willits, and I will be joined very shortly by David Koschik from the Sound Live Sports Network. Tonight, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks wearing the home blacks, playing the Mariner Marauders wearing the road white uniforms. And we are just about ready for kickoff. Get you the lineups here shortly. Number 8, Alex Angelos to do the kicking off for Mariner. The ball is in the air and we are underway on the 2015 football season. Ball going through the legs of Riley Morin, the kick returner, into the end zone, touchback. Hawks will have the ball on the 20-yard line, and let's get you the starting lineup on offense for your Mountlake Terrace Hawks. Jensen in a shotgun formation. He's going to keep the ball here on the first play of the season. Bowls forward for a gain of about 5 yards. Just puts his shoulder down and heads right up the middle. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. Also listed as starters. Tanner Munnis will be a fullback at times. He wears the number 2. Jordan Bishop, number 20, will get his share of the carries. We're expecting to see him maybe carry the ball 15 to 20 times a game. And then Riley Morin also playing over on a wing. We'll see him in there quite a bit. I believe that's Bishop that just lined up in the tailback position. Takes the handoff, tries to go up the middle. Fights through one blocker, but cannot get through a second would-be tackler and is brought down at the 27-yard line. A gain of 1, and that will bring up a 3rd and 3. Dave Koschik joining me here in the broadcast booth.
Hey, Steve, looking at the lineup here, a lot of familiar names, at least on the Mountlake Terrace side from we've been reading off the last couple years, and some that I'm surprised are still in the program. I thought they would have been graduated by now, but they must have been players back in their sophomore days too.
Jensen in shotgun formation. Going to throw a pass. There's Riley Morin trying to get by. One tackler gets the corner, and he's got the sideline, and is finally brought out at the 39-yard line. Had one defender in the backfield with him. That was number 10, Parker Bresler. Got by Bresler and was one tackler away from breaking it down the sideline. Did manage to pick up 12 yards as they spot him out now at the 38-yard line. A gain of 12, and the Hawks with their first down of the season.
I think that was a block by Jordan Bishop, who I thought it could have been a block in the back, but the refs didn't see it that way, and Jordan's block allowed the gain for 12 yards and the first down.
Hawks 1st and 10. Handoff does go to Bishop. Bishop trying to find room in the middle. Doesn't find a lot of space. Might have picked up 2 yards. Number 7, Merrick Korpanin making the tackle. And I forgot how much I love these Mountlake Terrace Hawks home uniforms up here in the booth. The dark jerseys with the dark numbers, they're always fun to try to read up here when you're looking at these players from a side angle as I try to pick up who has the ball at times.
It is a little difficult. It's not as bad with the daylight still shining the light on the jerseys. At nighttime with the stadium lights, it is tougher.
We'll get you the Mariner starting defensive team here in just a few moments. Jensen stepping up under center right now. Takes the snap. Hands off to Bishop. Bishop trying to find some room. Breaks through a couple of tacklers and is still going! Finally tumbles down inside Mariner territory at the 44-yard line. A gain of 16 yards. And Jordan Bishop, if he keeps his feet, he might have been gone. And great job by him to even pick up as many yards as he did, shaking off a few tacklers. Hawks now on the Mariners side of the field for the first time this afternoon. I guess we can call it evening now. We're now past 5 o'clock. Bishop goes in motion. Jensen takes the snap. Keeper all the way. Lunges forward to the 40. Might have even gotten to the 39. Gonna give him a 5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5. And Mikey Jensen, really almost a linebacker in a quarterback's body. It's something they plan on doing quite a bit this year, is just letting him bulldoze his way forward. Jensen listed at 6 foot 195.
Well, with the 4 or 5 runs that Terrace has had so far, they've all been between the tackles. It doesn't look too fancy of a run up here. There's no deception. There's no man in motion at the snap. So it's pretty much mouth mash football right now. And Terrace so far is winning the battle.
We're back and ready to go now. 9:05 to go here in the first quarter. Opening drive of the 2015 season. Hawks on the Mariner 39-yard line. Handoff. Bishop finding some more space. Getting down to the 31-yard line. 8-yard pickup and another first down. Bishop doing a nice job of picking his spots. Patiently waiting for the offensive line to bust a hole or two open for him and give that line a lot of credit right now as well. We start to look at the starting lineup here for Mariner. We're trying to match numbers to names here right now based on what we were given. Bubba Isaiah, number 53, is your starting strong tackle. Your nose tackle is Pavel Savchuk. Jensen takes the snap, runs around to the right. Trying to find the corner, didn't get it. Does manage to get forward for a gain of a yard. Give him a 2nd and 9 at the 31-yard line. So as we just mentioned, Pavel Savchuk, number.
Well, it was Tim Kahutsky on the tackle. It was nice. He had a blocker, shed the blocker, was able to make the tackle for a minimal gain, if anything. So that was number 11.
Savchuk is number 20. There we go. So again, they gave us the starting lineups without names, with the names not matching the numbers. So we're trying to get you caught up on that. Jensen's going to keep the ball after faking the handoff. Tries to cut it back into the middle after initially going out to his left. Might have picked up 2 yards on the play. We'll give him a 3rd and 7. Your strong linebacker is Merrick Korpanin. We've already called his name once. He's wearing number 7. He's a senior. Jordan Davis Miller is listed as your middle linebacker. Caden Herbert is your weak side linebacker. Brender Kale is one of your safeties. Anthony Smith also playing a safety. Your corners, Parker Bressler and Avery Dunn. Complete your starting lineup.
Gotta wonder if this is 2 more down territory for Terrace if they don't get the first down here.
Morin goes in motion. We get a whistle. The Marauders are clapping. Apparently this will go against the Hawks, and they're going to call.
It was a delay of game.
Delay of game call on the Hawks. They were delaying to let us call out those rosters, even though we don't have numbers for them.
That's why you're talking to the rest before the game. That was good prep work there. But no, like I'm saying, you don't know in high school, this is definitely probably 4 down territory because I don't think the leg of many high school kickers could kick a 40-yard, 50-yard field goal. So I don't know if you want to punt on your own 35, but wait to see what Terrace coaches draw up here.
So 3rd and 12 on the 34-yard line. 6:50 showing here in the first quarter. Jensen in shotgun formation. He's got Munnis back blocking for him. He's going to throw it deep down the right sideline to Daniel Johnson. Touchdown, Terrace! Mikey Jensen to Daniel Johnson. Hawks on the board first. 34-yard strike right down the right sideline and into the end zone. Go the Hawks.
Man, cornerback Avery Dunn, number 34, was all over Jensen, but he still a nice throw, great catch, but I mean, even Mariner is in position to make that play, but it's still a better play by Terrace.
Dunn listed at 5'8", 150 pounds. Daniel Johnson, 6'4", 173. Height does matter. 8 inches right there. Touchdown, Hawks. And this first drive of the season ending in a touchdown. Apparently Mountlake Terrace going for 2 here right off the bat. Jansen in shotgun formation. Tanner Munnis playing the fullback. Got Morin on one wing out to the right. Jensen's going to roll to the right, looking. Sheds off one tackler, flips it into the end zone. It's completed. Schoolyard play right there as Jensen eludes one tackler. Just kind of flipped it forward, a la Brett Favre against the Seahawks about 20 years ago, and Riley Morin just waited for him. Makes the connection, and it's 8-0.
It's almost a little bit of a chess match right there. You can see what Jensen's thinking, trying to wait for a receiver to get open, and the DBs don't know whether to go back to the end zone on defense or go after Jensen. So all three collapsed, and right when they did, he was able to pitch it into the end zone.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And Steve, I don't know if I'm tipping your hand here too early, but I did know one of your players to watch for Mountlake Terrace this year is the junior, Danny Johnson. And,
Daniel
Johnson. And on the opening drive, big catch, big play on 3rd and long.
And we are aware of the fact that this game is not going out live right now. We will post the game in its entirety later as we are recording it. Whoa. Johnson with a little pooch kick. Whistles blow. Play is dead.
Thankfully for Mountlake Terrace, that whistles blew because Mariner was not fooled by that at all.
Do not see the referees moving the ball back as of yet. Apparently no penalty flag.
Unless...
and as soon as I say that, the referees move the ball back 5 yards. Certainly want to make sure we give them a shout out later as well, as we talked to them right before the game. Jeff Sedaris and his crew doing both games tonight. And this time, Jensen standing back 5 yards further, ready to kick this ball off. They're going to try another pooch kick. Looking for an open space. I think the Hawks recovered it. They did. Perfect kick right over everybody's head. Pooched it about 18 yards down the field, and Austin Bach, number 14, just sprinting down that right sideline on one bounce, picked it up, got 1 foot in bounds, which is all he needs. And the Hawks are going to keep the ball here for a second possession before the Marauders offense even takes the field.
And you can look at the disbelief of the Mariner players, both on the field and on the sideline, going, what just happened right there? I didn't think they'd get fooled since the last kick, the one that got brought back by penalty, was the same thing. But yeah, it was a perfectly placed kick, and if it bounced 1 second quicker, it would have went out of bounds. So perfectly executed onside.
Jensen back under center, I formation this time. Looks like Munnis and Bishop behind him. Handoff is going to go to Bishop. Bishop spins out of one tackler, cuts it out to the left, finds some open space to the 30, the 25, and is finally brought down at the 23-yard line. A pickup of 23 yards. Here come the Hawks on this second possession.
Bishop running into a wall, getting spun around 180, and kicked it out to the left side of the line and put it up. Good awareness from Mr. Bishop.
6:30 showing on the clock, first quarter. Hawks looking to make this a 2-possession game before the Marauders even take the field on offense. Number 71, Miles Allen back at the center position. Gets ready to hike the ball to Jensen. Bishop in motion. Jensen throws a little screen pass to Riley Morin. Morin looking for the sideline. Stiff arms one tackler and is finally brought down at the 18-yard line. That's a gain of 5. going to bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Hawks.
Yeah, stiff arm on number 10, Parker Bresler. From a 1-yard gain to a 5-yard gain with that stiff arm. Nice run.
Second and 5, 18-yard line. A few new players checking in for the Hawks. Number 5, Nick Fisher, trotting onto the field. Junior wide receiver. And we're going to get a timeout for Mountlake Terrace and an opportune time for us to take a break. 6:04 to go in the first quarter. Hawks 8, Marauders 0. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
And welcome back to Edmond Stadium. 6:04 left in the first quarter. Hawks with the early 8-0 lead and looking for more. Jensen fumbles the snap, picks it up, rolls out to his left, and is going to be brought down at the 20-yard line. Might have lost a couple yards on the play. Tackle made by number 20, Pavel Savchuk, 6 foot, 170-pound senior.
That was Jordan Davis from Mariner getting into the backfield to disrupt that. He didn't make the tackle, but he's able to keep Mountlake Terrace from getting past the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd down and 7 at the 20. You saw what the Hawks did on their last 3rd down. That was when they threw the 34-yard touchdown pass to Daniel Johnson. This time they're going to go with a handoff. Bishop runs it into the middle of the field. No gain, however, he did center it up if they do want to try a field goal. Number 7 making the tackle, that's Merrick Korpanen. And of course the new rules state that if you lose your helmet on a play, you have to come off the field. One of the referees pointing him towards the sideline, so he is out. 4th and 7 at the 20.
Big decision for Coach Kelly right now.
Usually we see a kicker come running onto the field, but in the case of the Mountlake Terrace Hawks, your kicker is your quarterback, so we're not always going to know what they're doing until we see them in their formation.
Well,
however,
I
will say
his wrists, so
I will say this too. Miles Allen is back in at center, and I know that they go with Drew Clippert when they're doing the long snaps, so that's going to be the dead giveaway for us all season long, really. Here comes 4th and 7. Jensen looking down the field, scrambling, fires into the end zone. Touchdown, Terrace! Daniel Johnson with his 2nd touchdown catch here in the first quarter. Hawks 14, Mariners 0.
What awareness by Mikey Jensen. Nice patience, roll to the right. 34, the cornerback for Mariner was there, but I think he jumped too soon, and the ball went over his head by the time he was coming down. That was, what?
It was Avery Dunn again, correct?
Avery Dunn, yeah.
2nd time that he's been beat for that touchdown. I thought Dunn had the position there.
Too, yeah. He was there, but like I said, that timing was a little bit off because it wasn't a high arcing ball. It was more of a line drive. But
surprisingly here, the Hawks going for 2 again. You'd think with a 14-0 game they might go for the 15, but they're going to go for 2 here. This time throws it behind Riley Morin. Incomplete. And with 4:39 to go here in the first quarter, Mariner has yet to step on the field offensively. The Hawks have a 14-0 lead. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Hawks doing another pooch kick. This time, Mariner very wisely calling for the fair catch. Jersey's a little crinkled there. It looks like it's number 10, and it is. It's Parker Bresler. Very wisely fair catching that one. Mariner with the ball at their own 39-yard line, and for the first time this season, their offense will take the field. And I'll tell you what, David, when you haven't played offense all year, the last thing you want to do is take the field with a 14-0 deficit. That is exactly what they're doing right now. J.J. Walker in, taking the snap, flips it out to number 6. That is Anthony Smith. Smith sweeping around from right to left. And as soon as Walker took that snap, he kind of shuffled it to him, although it was a backwards pass, so it's considered a rush.
Right, it looked like a basketball pass, 2 hands.
Did pick up 16 yards and a first down. Actually, we'll give him 17 yards on that play. As Mariner on the Terrace side of the field for the first time. This ball is going to be snapped directly back to the running back. That's number 26, Darius Brown. Little
bit of trickeration by Mariner there. Number 9, J.J. Walker, the quarterback, looking like he's going to get the ball, but snapped right past him. He led as a blocker.
And Walker almost taking off a little bit early on that play. That was close as he
was leaning. I was wondering if they're going to throw the flag on that one.
Almost as though he went into motion as the ball was being snapped. Brown managing to get just beyond the line of scrimmage, maybe a half of a yard. Brings up second and long. Walker's going to pitch this one to Brown. Brown looking for room out to the right. Finds a little bit of opening, cuts it back into the middle, and is still going before finally being brought down at the 35-yard line. A gain of about 9. Call it 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Marauders.
Yeah, Mountlake Terrace defense had him maybe a 3 or 4 yard game, but arm tackling is not bringing Mariner running backs down. So on the 2 successful plays Mariner had so far, some of it's been because Mountlake Terrace's defense is not putting them to the ground when they're making first contact.
So we mentioned J.J. Walker, the quarterback. Pitches this one out to Smith. Smith looking for more room out to the left. Finds the corner, and he might just find the end zone. He does. Touchdown, Marauders. A 36-yard run by Smith. Broke a couple tacklers, got to the sideline, and once he was there, it was a foot race. So Anthony Smith, the 5'10" junior, also had a lot of playing time last year. He puts Mariner on the board here with 2:52 to go in the first quarter. And the Marauders are an extra point away from cutting this deficit in half. As Walker will be the holder. Alex Angelos, the junior kicker, on for the extra point. Ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So once again, 2:52 to go in the first quarter. We've got a little bit of a shootout here. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the Hawks will bring their offense back onto the field with the 14-7 lead. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network. Now, for over 20 years, Adrenaline Fundraising has been raising more money in less time for Washington schools. We are so confident in our fundraising program that we guarantee your results. Whether your team is looking for traditional fundraisers like gold cars or cookie dough, or you want to explore new technology fundraisers that leverage your network. We are here to help. Visit adrenalinefundraising.com to connect your local rep today. And welcome back to sunny Edmonds Stadium. Still in the first quarter here, the Hawks with a 14-7 lead, and Riley Morin was set to take this kickoff. However, the ball heads out of bounds. And the Hawks offense will come onto the field for the third time this evening, and get the ball at the 35-yard line.
That was an illegal motion by Mariner there, but oh no, I'm sorry, just kicked out of bounds, so illegal kick.
Looking out at that field right now, Mariner with the defensive front. See number 40, Colton Bra, out to the left. Number 20, Pavel Savchuk, playing one nose tackle spot. Big number 53 out there, that's Bubba Isaiah. Along with number 7, Merrick Korpanin. Flag is thrown, and Mikey Jensen going nowhere this time as Korpanin reading that one perfectly.
He was in the backfield quick. Mountlake Terrace better hope they were in motion, so the play is called dead. That was legal shift.
Yeah, wait to see if Mariner will in fact accept the penalty. It looks as though they're going to waive it. That's what this first game is usually all about. The coaches have to adjust on the fly, and that's exactly what Mariner's trying to do here right now. Jensen under center, Bishop at the tailback, Munnis at the fullback. Fakes the handoff, drops back to throw. He's looking for Daniel Johnson once again, goes deep. Johnson being bumped by number 34, Avery Dunn, down the sideline. Apparently they're going to call that incidental contact. Ball falls incomplete. We'll bring up a 3rd and 14. We'll see what they have to do here in just a moment if in fact they get down into a 4th down situation. 2:14 to go here, first quarter. Morin goes in motion. Jensen throwing over the middle. Completes the pass. However, that will be well short of a first down. That's number 7, Unique Boa on the play. Picks up 5. We'll call it a 4th and 9. And much like we talked about earlier, the punter is the quarterback and the kicker is the quarterback.
And he gets paid the same.
So until we see what kind of a formation Mikey Jensen's in, we won't know. But in fact, he is going to line up to punt this time. Does bring up some interesting situations for the Hawks if they ever do want to in fact fake the punt. Jensen is capable of doing that. Gets off a kick. Fielded at the 36-yard line by Smith. Smith immediately wrapped up and brought down by a handful of tacklers, one of which being number 5, Nick Fisher, junior, on there to prevent much of a return, maybe a few yards.
Or quote-unquote tackling.
Run up the middle. That is, in fact, the quarterback, J.J. Walker, gets forward for a gain of 5. And let's get you the starting defense right now for the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. Running a 3-4 on the front of the line there. Left end is number 54, Eli Wilson. Your nose tackle is number 72, Javante Sims. Your right end is number 53, Chase D'Alba. Linebackers, shake and bake, as they like to call themselves. Number 1, Mikey Jensen, and number 2, Tanner Munnis. Ball is snapped directly to the running back, Brown. Brown looking to go up the middle. Doesn't find much room. Number 55, Drew Clippert, getting in there and making the tackle. Didn't call his name as a starter, but he does, in fact, come in and play on that defensive line a lot. A line that will be rotating quite a bit, as you'll certainly see number 71, Miles Allen, and number 70, Trent Brooks, in there as well. One of your outside linebackers is number 3, Daniel Johnson. We've called his name plenty already on the offensive side of things. Jordan Bishop, your running back, is also playing at an outside linebacker spot. Your safeties, number 5, Nick Fisher. Number 21, Andre Johnson, who's the cousin of Daniel. And sweep around the side there. Might have picked up a yard. That was number 3, Daniel Johnson, trying to make the tackle, shoulder tackle. Missed him, but did in fact slow him up a bit. And
no, I thought he slowed him up, but he'll get credit for that tackle.
And the rest of your starting lineup, Luke Thurber, number 9, is listed as your starting right corner. And Riley Morin at number 33 is at the other corner. And we have come to the end of the first quarter of play with our score, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks 14, the Mariner Marauders 7. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to Edmond Stadium. We are about to begin the second quarter, and the Marauders are given a gift as the Hawks on 4th and 2 get called for illegal participation, which I believe is another way of saying too many men on the field. It's a 5-yard penalty, and with a 4th and 2, if my math is correct, that is an automatic first down. We thought we were going to see our first Mariner punt of the game, and now they don't have to worry about that, at least not right now.
Maybe chalk that up to first game jitters, new coaching staff, but yeah, you're right, that is a gift.
So let's read you the starting offense for Mariner. Not very often we have to wait until the second quarter to do this, but they ran, 4 offensive plays in the first quarter, so we're finally getting around to it. They ran a few more than that, but it wasn't very many. Their quarterback, as we mentioned earlier, number 9, J.J. Walker, 6'1", 170 junior. They run a couple of wings. We've seen number 6, Anthony Smith, quite a bit already. Smith is a 5'10" junior. Number 5, Jabari Baker, he is a 5'9" junior. Noticing a theme here with the juniors. Playing halfback, number 26, that's Darius Brown. Brown is a 5'5", 150-pound junior. Very young team here. Looking at your receiver spots, number 2 is Anthony Allen. He is a 5'11" junior. Number 23, Tyrone Jones, 6'3" junior. Your offensive line at left tackle, Deron Mallett, he's number 74. He is the returning offensive lineman from last year, and he's a stud, 6'6", 315-pound senior. Your left guard is number 57, Austin Westergreen. Westergreen, 5'11", 235-pound senior. Run up the middle. That's Walker once again, the quarterback keeping it. Getting ahead to the 41-yard line, a gain of 7. The rest of your offensive line, Crayson Wallace, a transfer from Meadowdale High School. He's wearing number 59. He's a 6', 220-pound senior. Your right guard is number 51, Drew Johnson. Johnson is a 6'2", 235-pound junior. Nick Castillo is your right tackle, wearing the number 73. Actually, he's number 78. As we look here a little bit closer, 6'1", 225-pound senior. Walker getting pressured and drilled into the ground. Number 5 was the first one there. That's Nick Fisher. And then coming in to finish him off is Miles Allen with a big hit. Huge loss there for Mariner. Back to midfield.
Kid Dynamite got blew up right there.
A loss of 8 brings up a 3rd and 12. And finally, David, we've gotten all 4 of the lineups in for the day.
And I was able to use my Kid Dynamite reference.
And you were able to use your J.J. Walker Kid Dynamite. Good times, David, good times. Here comes the snap, 3rd and 12. Walker rolling out, looking downfield. Scrambling to his left. He might just put this one away and keep it. He does. He's run for the first down and then some. Finally goes out of bounds at the 27-yard line, a gain of 23. It looked as though Andre Johnson might have gotten a hand on him and stopped his progress, but that is not what you want if you're the Hawks. As Walker wanted to pass that ball, Hawks completely losing containment there, and Walker found some space along the left side, picks up a huge first down.
Yeah, Walker's looking to throw once, twice, 3 times, and just said, forget it. I see some, I have a block on the left and ran.
Here comes another pitch back to Brown. Brown puts down his shoulder, but not able to do much with that is Eli Wilson, number 54, in on the tackle, as well as number 9, Luke Thurber. Thurber, the 5'11", 165-pound senior. And Eli, the 6'2", 225-pound senior.
So J.J. Walker, when he pitches, I just thought the first time he pitched he had a bad grip, but every time he's pitching the ball back, he's using the 2-hand basketball pass. I've never seen that before.
Seems to be working so far. So
yeah.
If it's not broken, and this one gets snapped directly back to Brown. Brown finding some space, still on his feet, fumbles the ball as he goes out of bounds. Going to rule that he was out at the 11-yard line. A pickup of 16 yards. And Mariner now 11 yards away from potentially tying this game.
16 yards, and with that, 3-4 Mountlake Terrace missed tackles. You have to do some Oklahoma drills if you're Mountlake Terrace come next week.
9:50 to go here in the half. Walker in shotgun formation. Brown stepping forward as his blocking back. He's got number 6, Anthony Smith, right next to him. Hikes it right to Smith. Smith trying to get out to the left. Daniel Johnson not having it, bringing him back down at the 16-yard line, a loss of 5 yards.
You know, Steve, you're reading off the height and weight of the offensive line for Mariner, and some big boys there. And when I'm watching Mariner run between the tackles, they're having success. They're losing yardage when they're trying to do a run around on the outside. They're not even getting close back to the line of scrimmage. So I'm sure Mark Stewart knows what he's doing, but if I were him, I'd stay behind the big guys and run it straight up the gut.
9:10 to go here, second quarter. 2nd and 15 coming up. Ball is snapped directly to Brown once again. Brown going into the middle of the field. Pushes his way forward to the 8-yard line. Pickup of 8. Nick Fisher picking up the tackle. And it will be very curious to see what Meadowdale does if they do not, in fact, convert the first down here, if this is 4th down territory for them or not. Walker, shotgun formation. Brown still behind him. He's going to throw into the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Put the ball right on the money. That was number 2, Anthony Allen. Very similar to the touchdown that the Hawks had earlier. Just a 3-step drop. Threw it into the corner of the end zone, and Allen not able to come up with it.
You're right. That was a perfect throw. The only thing I can think of is maybe the receiver's looking back into the sun, but or high schooler just dropped it. But like I said, great throw, J.J. Walker.
Yeah, Allen knows it too. He's dropped his head and not feeling too good about that one. The 5'11", 150-pound junior. Here comes the field goal attempt. It's low, but it's good. Just getting through the uprights. That was number 8, Alex Angelos. And with 8:22 to go here in the second quarter, the Mountlake Terrace early 14-point lead is now down to 4. 14-10, Hawks. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. Now, for over 20 years, Adrenaline Fundraising has been raising more money in less time for Washington schools. We are so confident in our fundraising program that we guarantee your results. Whether your team is looking for traditional fundraisers like gold cars or cookie dough, or you want to explore new technology fundraisers that leverage your network, we are here to help. Visit adrenalinefundraising.com to connect your local rep today.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
And welcome back to Edmond Stadium. The Mariner Marauders kicking off this ball. And Riley Morin coming up at about the 20-yard line to field that one. He was way back near his goal line, had to sprint just to catch it. Finally does bring it in and takes it forward for about a 13-yard return. Put him on the 33-yard line. Should also mention here that we are having some technical difficulties, and we will be able to get this game up in its entirety later on. And having said that, we will not be running commercials during the game, so I want to make sure we're giving plenty of shout-outs to our sponsors who are back on board with us this year. We've got Shoreline Community College and Edmonds Community College, both helping us out, and we always appreciate them for allowing us to bring high school sports to the world, really, David. It's the worldwide internet, right? So everybody's able to watch. Jensen's going to keep this one after faking the handoff to Bishop. Breaks out of one tackle and finally is brought down at the 37, a gain of 4. So we appreciate them for their continued support. Action Jackson Plumbing is our halftime sponsor once again this year.
Oh, they've been with us forever.
They have been with us forever. Well, for a few years anyway. It's pretty much forever for us, though, right?
That's right.
And we've got a new sponsor this year. We will have Adrenaline Sports as our player of the game sponsor. Adrenaline Fundraising. Our pals David Wright from up in Stanwood has stepped on board to help us out this year, and looking forward to working with them, and glad that they will be partnering with us. We know they've been very active in the high school sports scene within the entire state, really, and helping us out now as Jensen takes the snap, runs it out to the left, lunges forward for a first down, a gain of 7. Hawks with the ball at the 44-yard line.
A little bit of a shout out to Tanner Munnis there with the blow-up block, allowed Mountlake Terrace get the first down.
Jensen once again in shotgun formation. This time he hands it off to Bishop, and Bishop is met in the backfield by 2 Marauders. Merrick Korpanin at number 7, along with Pavel Savchuk, number 20. I think those two have been waiting for that play for quite some time now. They knew eventually they were going to bust in there and make a tackle, and they did. 2nd and 14 coming up. 6:37 to go here in the second quarter, and the Hawks not finding the going to be quite as easy as it was in that first quarter. Be interesting to see what Kelly Dugan and his coaching staff, Jack Hand, the offensive coordinator, can come up with here on 2nd and 14. Looking to slow down that Marauder momentum here. Jensen back to throw, pump fakes it, decides not to throw, and Korpanin breaks through and makes the sack at the 31-yard line. Well, actually spotted at the 32. That's going to be a loss of 8. And all of a sudden, the Hawks are going the wrong way. 3rd and 22 coming up.
Jensen looked like he wanted to pull the trigger on that one, but a split second too late, as it turns out.
3rd and long. You've got a 6'4" wide receiver that has 2 touchdowns already. Think there's any chance that this ball might be going to the right side of the field?
Maybe, or this is one of the screen passes for 5 yards. See if you can get some yardage on the ground after the catch.
We'll see what the Hawks do. Bishop goes in motion. Jensen rolls out to the right, and he's in fact going to keep it himself. Might have picked up 6 yards. Or worse yet, 4 yards. Brings up 4th and 18. And for the second time today, I think it is safe to say we will be seeing Mikey Jensen drop back to punt. Watching Mark Stewart down here coach the Mariner Marauder team, and what an addition that's been for them. Stewart, as we mentioned earlier, coaching 13 years at Meadowdale High School. All-American football player at the University of Washington in the early 80s. Longtime coach in the area, not only at Meadowdale, but also at Garfield and Renton. Jensen gets that kickoff. On the right sideline, takes a quick Hawks bounce before it goes out of bounds. Finally goes out at the 27-yard line. 37-yard kick for Jensen. And the Marauders, for the first time today, with a chance to go ahead if they can march down and get a touchdown here with 4:29 to go in the half.
Now, the Mountlake Terrace defense looked better the last time they were on the field. However, they did hurt themselves by having, well, that was a special teams, I guess, or a defensive blunder on 4th and 3, giving up the penalty. And then having J.G. Walker, the Mariner quarterback, almost pinned down in the backfield. He was able to escape it and pick up 27 yards for the first down. So we'll see if Mountlake Terrace could play a little bit smarter defense this possession.
Walker with the keeper. Lunges up the middle for a gain of 4. Looked like Eli Wilson might have been the one on the tackle there, number 54. Brings up a 2nd and 6. And as I was just mentioning, good to see Mark Stewart on the sideline. Just a gentleman, a good role model for these young men, and certainly somebody who you like to see with a whistle around his neck. He embodies what you like to see in a coach, and they are lucky to have him. And same on the Mountlake Terrace sideline, really. You're replacing the winningest coach in the history of the Mountlake Terrace Hawks program in Tony Umayam. And we would have certainly liked to have seen Tony stick around, but he's tending to his family now. He's got 2 young ones at home, right?
He's taking some time off.
Taking some time off, and if you've got to replace Tony Umayam, what better guy to do that than with Kelly Dugan, somebody who is very well known around the Mountlake Terrace community. Long-time president of the Mountlake Terrace Youth Athletic Association football programs. Business owner, owns Sorelli Pizza down the street from the school, so he's about 3 blocks away at any time. Certainly somebody who runs a tight ship, and I think the Hawks are lucky to have him as well. So good to see two very, I was going to say legends, but I know you'd hit me if I did, so we don't want Mr. Umayam's ego to get too big. But really, to see 2 guys like Tony Umayam and
who are from the Mountlake Terrace community.
Yeah, John and Andrzejczyk, if they're both going to retire, you'd like to see these 2 guys in to replace them. Is big loss there for the Marauders. Brown trying to find some space up the middle there, cutting it out to the right, and he's brought down hard by Daniel Johnson.
The play before, there was a penalty against Mariner. I'm assuming it was a hold, but I think that's the first penalty against Mariner today. It's pretty late in the first half for their first penalty, but Mountlake Terrace will definitely accept it.
3rd and 13 at 24-yard line. Walker in shotgun formation, dropping back to pass, rolling out to his right and looking down the field, overshoots his receiver. That was number 6, Anthony Smith.
And Smith was open. That's looked like pretty much the first bad throw by J.J. Walker today. He's been throwing pretty well, moving pretty well, but that one he had his receiver turned around. Then again, the receiver could have been running the wrong route, but from up here will look like it's a bad pass.
Smith looked a little bit confused there on the play. He had initially started out it looked as though he was going to run a post into the middle, and then he started to cut it out over his shoulder and out to the sideline, and by that time wasn't quite able to recover and get to the ball. And consequently, incomplete pass will mean that the Marauders are going to drop back to punt. Speaking of Anthony Smith, he is the punter as well, standing back on his own 10-yard line. 3:04 to go in the second quarter. Smith gets off a nice booming kick, hits at midfield and takes a Terrace bounce backwards. Finally stops rolling at the 45-yard line, a 21-yard punt. And the Hawks are already in Marauder territory with 2:54 to go here in the half. They lead 14-10. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network. And here we go, 2:54 to go in the half. Hawks 14, Marauders 10. Mountlake Terrace looking for more. Jensen dropping the snap, is able to get back on it. Unfortunately for the Hawks, they lose 4 yards on the play as Merrick Korpanin once again getting into the backfield very quickly.
Well, right when the defense gets you the ball after a 3 and out, you got to kind of kick yourself if you're Mountlake Terrace. This is the second botched snap by Jensen today, so they're not helping their offense out here.
2:23 to go here in the half. Menace in the backfield once again. Riley Moore starts to go in motion, finally stops. Jensen rolling out to the right, looking down the field. Daniel Johnson wide open, catches it at the 20, breaks the tackler. Did he get into the end zone? No, they're going to say he was down at the 1-yard line. Daniel Johnson, 36 inches away from his 3rd touchdown in the first half.
Yeah, he was so far ahead of the defenders. I didn't even see where Mike was throwing the ball. And then I'm like, oh, wow, there's the black jersey. And I'm sorry, Johnson has to slow up for the ball a little bit and catch it. And he was still able to get 10 yards after the catch with 2 defenders on him.
And actually about 20 yards. He caught it on the 20. And if you're right, if Jensen leads him just a little bit further, that is an easy touchdown as Johnson has the speed to really run away from guys. He had to come back for that ball a little bit, or at least wait for it. Mm-hmm. Break one tackler, and it made the other one fall to the ground. And manages to get to the 1-yard line. Jensen under center. See if he keeps it here. He in fact does. Trying to get that push, waiting for the referee's signal. They're going to say he's down just short of the goal line. 1:19 to go here in the half. And if I'm the Hawks, I think I let that clock tick a little bit further. We've got plenty of time here. Terrace does have 1 timeout left.
And Steve, we're not used to seeing this from a Mountlake Terrace offense, huh? Over the years, it's been a lot of running, a lot of ground and pound, but Today they are finding much success in the air.
53 seconds showing on that clock. Jensen in shotgun formation. Munnis right behind him. The handoff goes to Munnis. And they're going to signal a touchdown at Terrace. Tanner Munnis right up the middle. I initially thought he was going to lose a little bit of, I wasn't going to say yardage, but I wasn't sure he even got back to the line of scrimmage initially. He might have gotten a second burst there. Punches it in, and with 44 seconds to go in the half, the Hawks now with a 20-10 lead as we await the extra point.
They go for 2 or 1. They've been going 2 all day.
Going for 2 once again. Jensen in shotgun formation. Munnis behind him. Morin on a wing to the right. Bishop to the left. Bishop going in motion. Jensen scrambling to the right. Waiting. Finally throws it into the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Riley Morin was the intended target. Castile Jahu with the knockdown.
He goes by CJ. We'll go by CJ.
He does go by CJ, and I was asking a couple of coaches and their training staff what his last name was, and nobody could tell me, so I'm trying to pronounce it on my own. It is NJAU. Do your own best judgment with that one.
Or number 24.
Or number 24. John Clippert just handed us the stats here for the first half. Mikey Jensen, 6 for 7 for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Almost had a third touchdown. Daniel Johnson, 3 catches, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Unique Boa with 1 catch for 5 yards. Riley Morin, 2 catches for 16. Looking at the rushing yardage, Jordan Bishop, 8 carries for 52 yards. Mikey Jensen, 11 carries for 15 yards. We're looking at stats here. Hawks with 8 first downs, Mariner with 3. Total yards so far, Terrace 178, Mariner 114. So Mikey Jensen, who's doing a little bit of everything today, throwing the ball, running the ball, kicking it off. This time he gives it a big boot into the back of the end zone. We knew he had the foot. We just hadn't seen it yet as they were pooch kicking those first couple. This time they just said, you know what, 44 seconds to go in the half. Start on your own 20. Let's see what you can do. And that's exactly what the Marauders are faced with now. And
the wind was little to Mountlake Terrace's back there, so probably confidence it would not get returned.
And not a lot of wind, though, right now as we look out there. The flags are, you're right, they're blowing a little bit towards the south, but very little. And I think, like I said, I don't think it's worth pooching the ball when you're looking at 44 seconds to go in the half. Walker takes the snap, throws it out into the left flat. Making the catch is number 23. That's Tyrone Jones.
Staying in bounds.
6'3", 195 junior wide receiver.
Looks like Coach Stewart isn't, even though the coaching staff saying to the Mariner team to hurry up, they don't look like they're in that big of a hurry.
20 seconds to go. Mariner has 3 timeouts left. We saw a lot of movement on both sides there, and finally whistle is blown. That one's going to be called against the Hawks. "17 seconds showing on the clock. And finally, the Marauders will take a timeout. They still have 2 left after this. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to Edmond Stadium. 17 seconds to go in the half. Walker takes the snap, throws it out into the right flat. The intended target was Anthony Smith. Not quite able to hold on to that one. Incomplete. So the clock now showing 13 seconds to go. Remind you to stick around at halftime for the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report. Get you caught up on all of the stats from this game. And talk about what we expect to see in the second half. Might even have a guest visitor or two as we're working on a few things. Stay tuned. Walker looking deep. He's going to fire it over the middle into coverage. Incomplete. Number 6, Smith was the intended target. I'll tell you what, Anthony Allen, number 2, was trailing that ball. that ball gets batted up into the air just a little bit higher,
He was anticipating a tip,
He
and
might have
that
cut-
would have been very smart.
he might have caught the ricochet, and he might still be running. 6 seconds to go in the half, and we know that J.J. Walker has a little bit of arm strength. Imagine we might see another play very similar to that. If you're the Marauders, you hope to maybe get a miracle catch, possibly even a pass interference, which would give you a free play, even if time does run out. And this time they're just going to hand the ball off or direct snap it to Darius Brown. Brown's still running. He's got a little bit of room. This could be dangerous. He must score on this play. It's the end of the half. 2 missed tacklers, finally another one, and he is finally brought down at the 21-yard line. That's going to help his stats out anyway. It's a 45-yard pickup, and that is the end of the first half, and an exciting one at that. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks 20, the Mariner Marauders 10. We're going to take a quick break. For over 20 years, Adrenaline Fundraising has been raising more money in less time for Washington schools. We are so confident in our fundraising program that we guarantee your results. Whether your team is looking for traditional fundraisers like gold cars or cookie dough, or you want to explore new technology fundraisers that leverage your network, we are here to help. Visit adrenalinefundraising.com to connect your local rep today.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Hawks with a 10-point lead and set to kick off here. The second half is underway. Mikey Jensen squibbed one earlier, or pooched one earlier, I should say, booted another into the back of the end zone. This time he tries something new. He kicks it about halfway down the field and out of bounds. It's going to give Mariner the ball at the 35-yard line. And interesting talking to Doug Podrowski at halftime, something that I hadn't thought of or heard yet, as Doug was talking to the coaches before the game, and it sounds as though it's more of a strategic deal, and Coach Dugan does not want to put the ball in the hands of the Mariner returners. He has that much respect for them and doesn't want them returning the ball, so perhaps Jensen was instructed to kick that one out of bounds and just let Mariner take it at the 35.
Right, the last pooch kick that Mariner fielded was at the 40, so Terrace got 5 more yards on this one.
One way to look at it, and 65 yards fewer than having a touchdown, I suppose. Walker dropping back to throw, throws a wheel route out to the left, wide open to Smith, catches it at the 40, in stride. He's heading into the end zone. Touchdown Marauders. A 65-yard touchdown strike on the first play of the second half. Meadowdale cutting that Terrace lead down to 4 with the extra point coming up.
I was just about ready to say we'll see what adjustments both coaching staffs make. Mark Stewart, of course, being the longtime coach, head coach of this area, so he drew that one up pretty nicely.
That was just a perfect run the running back out of the backfield wheel route. He just swept around to the left. Walker rolled out to the right and threw it across the field where Smith was
wide open,
streaking into the open there, and could not have thrown it much better as Smith was not needing to slow down at all. He caught it in stride and just kept running. The PAT from Angelos is good. And with 11:49 to go here in the third quarter, the Hawks lead is now down to 3, 20-17. We're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Alex Angelos ready to kick off here. 11 seconds into the second half. Riley Morin back to receive that one. Catches it on the 9-yard line. Starts to run towards the middle of the field looking for a gap. Finds a little bit of space before being brought down at the 31. 22-yard return. Jabari Baker, number 5, wanted the players in on the tackle.
It's a nice run. The momentum was taken to the sideline. He was able to gather his feet and cut it back in the middle of the field. So, good return.
And the way this game is going right now, certainly both teams' offenses look to be stronger than their defenses. I don't think any lead is going to be safe for a while. We felt pretty good about Mountlake Terrace having the 10-point lead at the half, and we saw what just happened. They're going to need to continue to put up some offense here if they're going to stay in this game because, quite frankly, I think a score in the 30s is going to be what's going to win it today, maybe even higher. Jensen in shotgun formation. Munnis and Bishop with him in the backfield. Hands off to Bishop. Bishop stutter steps, finally gets a little bit of an opening. Takes it out to the 38, maybe the 39. No, they're going to spot it at the 38. We'll call it a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 coming up for the Hawks.
Just sort of getting the first half, looking back at it. Terrace had 3 huge passing plays, which eventually either scored a touchdown or led to a touchdown. Mariners seem to be controlling the ball a little bit more. So if Terrace can keep the big plays up, they're going to look good. But if it comes down to who's going to win the line of scrimmage, I'm going to have to give so far the nod to Mariner.
So 2nd and 2, 39-yard line. Jensen in shotgun formation. Handoff goes to Bishop again. Bishop not finding a lot of space. Might have picked up a yard and a half. It's going to be a short 3rd down coming up. We'll give the tackle on the play. Sounded like they called Jordan Davis's name from up here. In fact, they're going to mark it as a 1st down now. So 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Sun shining brighter than it did at all in the first half. Nice evening for a high school football game. A little bit breezy out. Jensen fumbles the snap, is able to jump on it. Just as 2 players are joining him in the backfield that are not his teammates. It's a 7-yard loss on the play.
And that's now the 3rd bobbled snap. Mountlake Terrace.
Point out the offensive line has shifted a little bit this year. Drew Clippert, who was the center the last 2 years, is now playing left guard, and Miles Allen is at center. Allen playing a lot of guard last year. Not that that would be much of a difference for Mikey Jensen. He was not the quarterback last year, but certainly for those 2 gentlemen playing on the front of the line there, changes the complexion of what they're used to, as Clippert has always been the one to snap the ball back to the quarterback. This time Jensen catches it cleanly, throwing the ball over the middle, a little bit of contact. Ball falls incomplete. Jordan Bishop was the intended receiver as number 6, Anthony Smith, was guarding him.
Yeah, Michael Jensen wasn't really able to step into that one. He was sort of on his heels because the pressure, the defensive line of Mariners. So on the heels, the ball definitely landed a little bit too short for Terrace.
Well, the Marauders giving up some size up front, but those guys tend to be pretty quick, and they've certainly done their job in terms of putting pressure on Jensen anytime he's gone back to throw. So long third down coming up for the Hawks. We've seen them throw deep passes to Johnson in situations like this. We've also seen them decide to try to catch Mariner off guard and run. I would think we might see a pass coming up here.
Johnson on the near side of the screen, so I'd keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Jensen looks over towards the sideline, gets back under center, I formation, fakes the handoff, dropping back to pass, stutter steps and is brought down. Number 7, Merrick Korpening with the tackle in the backfield. 9-yard loss, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 26. Might have been a little bit of a coverage sack too, as Mariner looked like they were playing a deep zone. Jensen had a moment to look down the field. Didn't see anything that he liked, pulled the ball back, and when he did that, Korpening was back there to take him down and cause a 9-yard loss. Wow. Jensen with his best punt of the day. Kicks it towards the sideline. Smith fields it at the 36-yard line. Runs it back towards the center of the field, looking for some room. He's going to take it all the way to the right, over towards the sideline, cuts it back into the middle of the field, then cuts it back out to the right again. He's still on his feet, and he's going to be into the end zone for the touchdown. Penalty flag in the end zone. I would assume that's going to be an unsportsmanlike. However, the touchdown should stand. A 64-yard punt return for Smith. Goes along very nicely with his 65-yard touchdown reception just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, obviously a great run. Mountlake Terrace had him pinned to the corner. It was a booming kick. And when he fielded the ball, he was a yard or two from the sideline. And Mountlake Terrace had 3 or 4 defenders there. He was able to run right around him. I know special teams not exactly defense, but it's the same mentality. And there's missed tackles and letting too many easy yards being picked up on the ground.
A 39-yard punt before the 64-yard return. So Smith now has touched the ball twice this half. All-purpose yards, 129 for him. A 65-yard catch, a 64-yard return. And that has completely shifted momentum as well as the lead, as Mariner now for the first time tonight. Out front, 23-20. Angelos with the kick. It is through the uprights, and it is good. Mariner 24, Mountlake Terrace 20. We'll see if the Hawks have an answer. 8:25 to go here in the third quarter. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network. And welcome back to Edmonds Stadium. I knew I was going to do that eventually. They are not the Meadowdale Marauders. They are the Mariner Marauders. And they are in the lead for the first time this evening, 24-20. And thanks to an unsportsmanlike penalty on Anthony Smith on his touchdown return, they will also be kicking the ball 15 yards back from where they normally would at their own 25-yard line as Angelos boots it down the sideline there. Morin fielding it at the 18-yard line. Breaks free from one tackler, heads over to the left, trying to use his speed. He's getting pinned eventually here if he doesn't get to that sideline, and doesn't find much room over there either. Gets brought down from behind at the 21. He ran about 60 yards for a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, great coverage by Mariner. Good news for Terrace is their defense will be well rested next time they take the field.
Yeah, more
than that, this has been, sorry, Steve, this has been a very bad second half for Mountlake Terrace.
And Morin trying to find some of the magic that he had against Glacier Peak last year when he took a punt along the right sideline at the 6-yard line and ran it around all the way to the left for a 95-yard return with under 3 minutes to go. A punt return that won the game for the Hawks. Unfortunately, that doesn't always work when you're trying to go from one sideline to the other. And this time, Morin, by the time he got over there, found 3 or 4 guys waiting for him and only picked up 3 yards. Jensen in shotgun formation once again. 8:12 to go here, third quarter. Hawks need to get something going as they've already given up 14 points in the half. And they pick up a few yards there. I believe that was Jordan Bishop on the run. On the far side of the field there, it was in fact number 20. Gets tackled at the 25 for a gain of 3. I should point out this is a non-conference game. Mountlake Terrace playing in the 3A South, Mariner in the 4A Conference of Wesco. And a good game for both of these teams, really, if you are looking at two squads that have brand new coaching staffs, a lot of new starters. Not a bad way to start off the season. Get the kinks worked out, if you will, before you head into regular season play before the games start counting in the standings. Having said that, you certainly want to win tonight. It's always nice to get that first victory under your belt. But we're seeing both teams adjust to the other as the game goes along here. And it seems to be to the Mariner advantage so far as they stuff the run one more time. A no-gain rush up the middle there brings up 3rd and 7.
Seems like the two teams also are equal ability and almost style, so it's a good judge to see where you are, like you were saying. It's not a blowout. You're not playing a powder puff or a state-dominant program.
Two teams with playoff aspirations. Daniel Johnson on a bubble screen, and that's not going to work, as number 10 brings him down very quickly. That's Parker Bresler. Going to bring up a 4th and 7. It's going to bring the punt team back onto the field, and once again, Anthony Smith back to return. We've seen what he's done with the 2 other times he's touched the ball here in the 3rd quarter. Going for the trifecta, and we get a timeout as Mountlake Terrace having some personnel issues. They need to take a break, and so will we. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to Edmond Stadium. Mikey Jensen to punt the ball to Anthony Smith. He already has 3 touchdowns tonight. Will not get a 4th one in this play as he fair catches it at the 47-yard line. Only a 28-yard punt from Jensen. However, the result's much better than the last punt. Smith going for the trifecta so far. He's got a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and a punt return for a touchdown. Needs either a defensive touchdown or a kickoff return for a touchdown. Would give him a grand slam of sorts.
Well, he's a safety on defense, so
he's been in there.
Get a pick and so we take it back. But still, it's only a 4-point game. The 2 touchdowns Mariner has this half is big plays, so it's not like they drove the ball right down Mountlake Terrace's defense. So if Mountlake Terrace can keep Mariner from getting the big play during this game.
J.J. Walker. No, they're going to snap the ball directly to Darius Brown. Brown taking it just off right guard. Gets forward for a gain of about 2. Brown getting up a little wobbly there as he's favoring one of his ankles over the other, it looks. Looks from up here anyway. Brown, I mentioned, a 5'5", 150-pound running back.
I don't know if that's an ankle or like a cramp in the leg.
At any rate, he is definitely not able to put much weight on that leg at all as they are going to carry him off the field right now. We'll keep an eye on Brown as he's been a very vital part of this offense here so far tonight. Number 3, Romello Mangum in for the first time tonight. Now steps up and is lined up directly behind the left guard. They snap the ball directly to Anthony Smith. Smith going forward for a gain of about, we'll give him 7 on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Not a bad idea, really. If you want to get the ball into the hands of a playmaker, why not get it into number 6's hand?
Yeah. Well, looking at 26 right now, they're not working on the ankle. It does look like he cramped up. They're just stretching his legs and giving him some fluid, so he should be out there. He should be back pretty soon.
Something we see quite a bit this time of year, too, both because of the fact that it's a little bit warmer out. It's still September.
Yep.
Not only that, but these players are still getting conditioned as they go along. Cramping sometimes the result of not being in game shape as much as you will be by the 5th or 6th game of the year.
Anthony Gomez, that was Earl Thomas-like hit right there from the backfield, take on the running back.
And Jamari Baker with the carry. He gets ahead for the, I guess they're going to call him just a little bit short of the first down, so Gomez making a huge stop there. 4th and 1 foot. Mariner keeping the offense on the field. They're going for it here. This is a big stop coming up for the Hawks, or a big play. Mariners deciding they want to talk about it, so we're going to take a quick break. They call a timeout. 4:38 to go here in the third quarter. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And we are back here at Edmonds Stadium, fourth and a very short yard to go for the Marauders. J.J. Walker in the backfield. Smith going into motion, lining up directly behind him. Now he moves over to his right side. Going to hike that one directly to Smith. Smith looking for some space, gets held up. Did he make it back? It's going to be very close.
Far side judge. That is close, but I think he's short.
Hawks were initially signaling that they stopped him, but I don't know about that. It's going to be...
We're at a tough angle, yeah. It's kind of hard to see. But.
Based on where they just placed the ball, this one, boy, my guess right now is that he made it, but it is only a guess. Referee's calling for a measurement. A little surprised Smith did a little bit of dancing in the backfield there. I thought he was just going to get the ball and power his way forward. And
lean forward for 12 inches.
Yeah, decided he was going to try to pick up a few extra yards in the process by looking for a hole, and it might have cost him here. We will soon find out.
I'm probably going to bet he got it just by the nose.
I mentioned this is the second game of a doubleheader tonight. We are not broadcasting the other game, but it is a game worth noting. The Mariner, and they're going to say they stopped him just a little bit short. Hawks coming up huge on defense. They will take over possession at their own 42-yard line, and that is a big play there as they trail by 4 points here with 4:33 to go in the third quarter. And certainly you did not want to have Mariner go down the field and get another touchdown there to give themselves a two-possession lead. Let's see if the Hawks can capitalize on this now. And as I just was mentioning a moment ago, Lake Stevens coming in here tonight, the second-ranked team in the state of Washington, with a quarterback by the name of Jacob Eason, who in one publication, I believe ESPN.com, had him ranked as the second-ranked drop-back quarterback in the nation. As Jensen takes the snap, hands it off to Bishop. A little bit of confusion there. Bishop fighting his way forward. Might have picked up 2, maybe 3 on the play. So Jacob Eason, who has already signed a letter of intent to play at the University of Georgia, actually signed his financial paperwork too, so he is able to graduate in December and will head to Georgia in January. And he's going to play big-time SEC football next year. Certainly the most highly touted and highly recruited quarterback to ever come out of Snohomish County. And his only trip to Edmonds Stadium is tonight, so we will not be broadcasting that game, but the folks who are going to be at the stadium will get a chance to see what he can do against a Meadowdale Maverick team that has to replace quite a few starters off of that team that won the Wesco 3A South Division last year. Jensen's going to keep this one himself. Cuts back into the middle, towards the middle, I should say, and moves ahead to the 44-yard line. 44-yard line of the Marauders, a 10-yard gain and a first down. Jensen showing that he's a little swift of foot there. I thought he was going to go right towards the sideline, and he just cut it back in, found a lane, and moved forward.
We'll see if Mountlake Terrace's defensive stop on fourth and very short help momentum on the offensive side. 2 good runs to start this drive for Mountlake Terrace.
Clock continuing to run, 3:27 left in the third quarter. This game is far from over. 24-20 Mariner leading for their first time of the night. Bishop lined up behind Jensen just off his left shoulder. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself again. Puts his shoulder down and barrels over the defender for a first down. 11-yard pickup by Mikey. And that was number 24. You want to say his last name, David?
No, we'll call him CJ.
CJ trying to step up and make the tackle, and Mikey Jensen is a load.
CJ may be sick on film day come Monday. He'll call in sick that day.
CJ,
that was a pop.
CJ's listed at 5'9", 135. Mikey's listed at 6 foot 195, and certainly a moving 195-pound player, getting the better of the stationary 135 there. Handoff goes to Bishop. Bishop continuing to fight his way forward, finally gets spun backwards. It will give him forward momentum, however, to the 27-yard line, a gain of 6.
I was going to say I wouldn't mind seeing Mountlake Terrace, if they're going to throw on first down, because every first down today has been a run, but why argue with success this drive, because they've been getting 4 or 5 plus yard chunks every run.
Matriculating the ball down the field, as
someone
Hank Stram used to say, the longtime coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Nobody's really sure what it means, but
you watched a lot of NFL films growing up.
Super Bowl 4 right there. First game ever in which a coach was mic'd during the game. That is the most famous line from that broadcast. Jensen getting stopped in the backfield and wrestled down by the big fella. That's Bubba Isaiah. 6'1", 275-pound junior, and once he had Jensen in his grasp, he was not going anywhere. Goes back to the 32-yard line, a loss of 4. Brings up a 3rd and 9.
Mariner defense got so quickly into the backfield of Mountlake Terrace. I wasn't able to tell if Mountlake Terrace was going to run or throw the ball. I don't know if that was going to be a quarterback keeper by Mikey or he was going to set up and toss it.
Sun continues to shine. Hard to tell up here. We are underneath the cover, so I can't tell exactly where the angle is, but got to think as that sun gets a little bit down further behind those trees, as long as it's still peeking up over them, at some point it might make certain throwing angles a little bit difficult if receivers are looking back into it.
Well, now it's almost perpendicular with
the field there, so you're right. So it would almost have to be a slant of some sort or a screen.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get another timeout called. Mountlake Terrace with their second timeout to the family this year, as Adrenaline Sports is our primary postgame sponsor. Jensen throwing a screen pass. Bradley Morton getting his hands on it. He's fast, so look out. Breaks one tackler to the 5. Touchdown, Terrace! Riley Morton with a 32-yard screen pass puts the Hawks in the lead at 26-24 with 53 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Looks like that timeout was well taken then.
Take that timeout all you want now. It's well worth it as the Hawks back into the lead.
And for those listening online, you're probably thinking, what do those guys know? You said the bubble screen into the sun. This is a bad time of the day. That's true. We may not know what we're talking about. However, right now, the sun is, or that part of the field was in the shade. There was a shadow from a tree. So Warren was able to see the ball clearly is what I'm saying.
There you go. Clear enough to catch it and had the eyes to look upfield and find an opening, and he went into the end zone. Huge touchdown for the Hawks. First points for them this half. Jensen's kick is up. It is through the uprights, and the Hawks back out on top, 27-24, 53 seconds to go here in the third quarter. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back. Onside kick. Yeah, that's not going to work. Ball must travel 10 yards. It travels 8 and just dies there on the turf.
That was a lawn dart. That was heads up by number 12 on Mariner. You could see he instinctively wanted to touch it, but he was smart enough to say, wait, it wasn't 10 yards.
Only traveled 8 yards, and, Mariner, if they wanted to, and probably wise that they didn't, but I'm just saying that for a moment there, the ball stopped and everybody was just looking at it. Mariner has the option to pick it up and run with it. It's still a live ball from their standpoint. They wisely just stepped away and made sure that they gained possession, because certainly once they touch that ball, if they fumble it or even bobble it as they're picking it up, Mountlake Terrace is free to hit them at that point and try to loosen the ball away from them. Either way, it didn't work that way. So Mariner with the ball in Mountlake Terrace territory at the 48. They trail by 3. J.J. Walker spinning up the middle. Gets forward to the 43-yard line, a gain of 5. Going to bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Marauders.
Tanner Munnis standing up, grabbing both his hammies. He might be getting a little cramping there too, stretching that out.
27 seconds and counting. That sun may not be in the way of the players right now, but it's almost coming down to the point where it's in our faces as it continues to drop.
Yeah, this is an outrage.
That's what we ultimately care about, right? Anthony Smith with a pitch out to the left, cuts back, jumps over one player, gets by another tackler before Eli Wilson very wisely sprints down the field and tackles him from behind, but not before Smith picks up 16 yards. And another Marauder first down. Clock showing 6 seconds, and as soon as they spot it, the clock will continue to run. And it does, and we've come to the end of the third quarter of play. And we've got an exciting finish coming up. We are 12 minutes away from seeing who is going to be victorious on this opening night. Both teams have had the lead in the second half. Mariner trails, but they're driving. It's 27-24 Hawks, and you are watching the Sound Live Sports Network. And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Meadowdale with the first play from scrimmage here in the fourth quarter. And Javante Sims making a nice stop there. Walker was keeping it. Didn't find much room to run at all. A loss of 2. 11:42 to go here in regulation. Shouldn't say the ball game right now. It's a 3-point game. Could we have overtime on our first game of the year? Stay tuned.
A little bonus coverage, yeah.
Angelo Camo, our producer, always a fan of overtime play. Always likes to stick around a little longer and continuing coverage. It's always fun.
Well, if it does go to overtime, Mountlake Terrace will have to be thinking, we went for 2 a lot today. They made one and missed 2.
Twice anyway, yeah. Walker throwing deep over the middle. Into coverage. Was that ball caught? It was. Anthony Allen, who dropped a sure touchdown in the end zone earlier. This time he's able to go up over 2 defenders and catch it. That was Nick Fisher being one of the defenders, and he is yet to get up.
And
holding his, looks like his foot or his leg.
Yeah, Nick Fisher put a pretty good lick on him. It was a nice catch by Mariner to hold on to that.
Will be first and goal for the Marauders at the Terrace 7-yard line. 11:22 to go. It's Kelly Dugan along with the training staff out there to take a look at Fisher. And we are coming back on in a very somber moment right now as Nick Fisher, once again, number 5, being transported away from the field in an ambulance. He is alert, is able to wave to the crowd. It's a leg injury of some sort. It's hard to tell.
It looks like lower left leg, probably an ankle.
Yeah, Jack Hand, the offensive coordinator, was just down on the field, and as he was making his way back up here through the booth, we heard him talking to somebody. Trying to eavesdrop a little bit, and I don't want to speculate too much. Nothing quite to the extent of what we saw with Michael Hunt last year. Michael's injury was much more serious with the bone sticking out of the leg. This one not quite that bad, but first play back from scrimmage into the end zone goes Anthony Smith for his 4th touchdown of the night. puts the Marauders back ahead with 11:06 to go. Tough to watch that football game knowing that we're still watching an ambulance on the corner of the field there, and Nick Fisher sitting in the back of it. Unofficially, by the way, John Clippard was just telling me he's keeping stats for the Hawks that unofficially he had Fisher down as being the leading tackler for the game for Mountlake Terrace when that injury occurred. Referees are now holding up play while the ambulance pulls off the track. So Mariner for the second time this half takes the lead. Alex Angelos once again back on the field. Kicks the PAT through the uprights. It is good. And the Marauders are back at ahead by 4, 31-27. We will take another quick break. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network. Now, for over 20 years, Adrenaline Fundraising has been raising more money in less time for Washington schools. We are so confident in our fundraising program that we guarantee your results. Whether your team is looking for traditional fundraisers like gold cars or cookie dough, or you want to explore new technology fundraisers that leverage your network, we are here to help. Visit adrenalinefundraising.com to connect your local rep today. And here we go once again, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks with Riley Morin returning the kick to the 30, we'll call it the 34 as he fought his way for a couple of extra yards after the contact. 10:58 to go here in the fourth quarter. Angelo Camo, the master of all, running commercials now we saw in the last break. Angelo needs a big hug. It's been a rough night. We had a little trouble getting on the air. We will get that resolved by the next broadcast, we hope. But he will get this game up later on. Unfortunately for him, it means a little bit extra work, or a lot of extra work. So
it's a 3-day weekend, so
yeah, just what he wanted to do, right? So if you see Angelo out on the street, thank him, because this game is not going to be easy for him to get up. It's going to take a little extra time, and for the love of the job, right, Angelo Camo? He's giving a thumbs up right now. Here we go. Mikey Jensen fakes the handoff, keeps it up the middle, and waiting for him are a handful of Marauders, one of which is number 54. That's Jordan Davis. Davis wrapping him up along with number 40, Colton Bra.
Last possession for Mountlake Terrace is very successful on the ground, getting big chunks on first downs. This one obviously only 1 yard, so not as successful. So we'll see if they can get back into that running mode they were in the last possession.
So 2nd and 9, 35-yard line. Mikey Jensen once again in shotgun formation. Jordan Bishop flanking out into a flanker position now as Jensen keeps it around to the right, picks up a first down and then some. Finally being brought down at the 48-yard line. Call that a gain of 13. By the way, before I forget, I want to give a nice shout out to the referees tonight. I need to tweet out a picture later of them as they were posing for the cameras earlier. It's the nice thing about having a few years under our belt now, by the way. It's going down on the field about 25 minutes before the game. I used to feel like I was intruding in their space, and now they just come right over to me and start asking about which games are going to be broadcasted tonight, and are we going to give them a shout-out? It's good guys, by the way.
Like you said, they're doing both games. They have a long night here.
They do, in fact, have a long night. So Jeff,
don't mess up their last name.
Jeff Sedaris is the head referee tonight. Larry Lusk is your umpire. As Jensen this time will hand off to Bishop. Bishop up the middle. Getting close to that first down marker. Might be short by about a yard. Call it a gain of 9. It's going to bring up 2nd and 1. J.R. Llewellyn is one of the line judges. Nick Martin and James Furdell is your back judge. I was about to read off the next game, but it's the same 5 guys. So, again, Jeff, Larry, J.R., Nick, and James doing a nice job so far tonight. They've been keeping busy. A lot of scores. We've had injury.
Very few flags.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
been a fairly clean game.
Maybe it's because they're doing 2 games and they know it's going to be a long night. I'm not saying that's their motivation. It just maybe it's like that.
There's a few names on the list or maybe all the names on the list that we've recognized over the last couple of years now, and always doing a great job are those officials out there.
Well, they got new jerseys on. They got the black shoulder area.
Uh-huh.
Those are pretty sharp looking.
You like those, huh?
Yep.
Speaking of new, we haven't even mentioned it yet tonight.
The Mountlake Terrace helmets.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but that's they are new this year. Weren't they new last year?
Well, they could have been, but they're new this year. They're the matte gray, and they have the shiny red feathers, which is really sharp looking. even though I'm not a fan of the University of Oregon uniforms, those helmets.
Well, as you looked in on the field from up here, notice anything else new this year?
The coaches are wearing red, like back in the day.
Oh,
the new paint, or I don't know if it's a new turf or new paint on the turf.
That's a brand new turf.
That's a nice looking turf.
That's new artificial surface there, and it looks good. It feels good when we were walking around out there earlier. Jensen keeping the ball, pushes his way forward and keeps pushing that pile all the way down to the 36. A gain of 7 and another first down.
I was just asking to see if we could see some good production on the ground after that 1st and 1 yard run on the first play of this drive, and that's 3 successful runs from Mountlake Terrace, leading to 2 first downs. So they have momentum back on their side. Only down by 4 with 9 minutes to go. If they could have a 9-minute drive right here and punch it in, that'll be a good way to end the game.
That clock just going under the 9-minute mark right now. Jensen is going to keep it one more time, and this time, number 7. No surprise there. That's Merrick Korpening. He's been in that backfield quite a bit today. He was able to slow the momentum of Jensen down enough to where his teammates could get in there and keep him to a 1-yard gain. And Korpening on the play looks like he might have banged himself up a little bit as he's grabbing his back and trying to twist out a little bit of a kink there now. 8:23 and counting. We've had 3 lead changes already here in this half. Mountlake Terrace hoping to make it a 4th right now. Jensen going to keep it one more time. Runs off of right tackle and towards the sideline for a first down. He's able to get ahead to the 20, we'll call it the 25-yard line. Maybe just a little short of the 25, an 11-yard gain. Continuing to move those chains right now.
Yeah, not a lot of fancy running. It's the offensive line, the tight ends for Mountlake Terrace are winning the battle at the line. So I don't think we're going to see Coach Kelly change it up anytime soon.
Going to call it the 26 now as they spot it back a little bit. And these two teams playing a 14-13 game last year, game in which Mariner scored the first 13 points of the game. The Hawks getting the last 2 touchdowns. Terrace hoping for a similar outcome tonight. Flag blows, and I believe that is going to be on Mariners. We wait to see what the referees are going to make the official call. Terrace players clapping their hands. I would assume we're going to get an encroachment call. And we do.
Getting a part of the game to see which teams got better conditioning. Said a lot of running, a lot of banging going down on the fields. Right now, it looks like Terrace a little better condition, at least on offense, or maybe both offenses for that reason, for that matter.
7:22 left in the game. Bishop in motion. Mikey Jensen's going to keep it one more time. Stiff arms one player. Runs out of bounds right around that first down marker as we wait to see where the referees spot this. One of the referees standing on the 15-yard line, which would give Jensen a first down by a yard.
Yeah, Jensen not overpowering with that stiff arm, but it's definitely effective. It just gives him enough room to get outside of the grasp. Maybe he's got longer arms than we can realize up here, but it's been successful for him to get not huge runs, but enough to get another 4 or 5 yards after contact.
Clock stops on the play, 7:13 showing. Mariner 31, Mountlake Terrace 27. Season opener for both teams. Warm-up game for Mariner. They play O'Day next week. Have fun, guys. O'Day ranked 3rd in the state right now in the preseason polls. Jordan Bishop with a run off of the right side. Spins his way forward to the 10-yard line. We'll call that a gain of 5.
This is a nice turnout for both schools. I don't know about the Muckleteel School District, but Edmonds doesn't start till next week, and good fan base here. The Mountlake Terrace Band is playing today. Sounding good.
I wouldn't say it's a huge turnout, but it's a good turnout. You're right. It's not. We've seen much smaller crowds, but we've
especially the 5 o'clock games usually don't get that much play. But
good point. Jensen takes the direct snap once again, runs up the middle, right around that first down marker. It's going to be very close. Both of the side judges coming in right on the 5-yard line, which is exactly where he needed to be for that first down mark.
Ooh, the big uglies from Lake Stevens are walking out.
Yeah, Lake Stevens wearing the road whites.
Wait, I didn't know Small College was playing today.
That is your number 2 ranked team in the state for 4A, right behind Camas. Do you know the Camas?
Fight song?
No, the Camas nickname.
The Camas Cats?
They're not the Cats. I will get that to you in just a moment here. 5:55 to go in the game. 3rd and short on the 6-yard line. Jensen fumbled the football. Scramble for it. Mariner thinks they've got it.
I definitely saw Mariner have it at one point. I don't know what's going to happen after that pile on the ground. Oh,
they're going to say the Hawks got it back and give Mikey Jensen a lot of credit for that, as there was a huge collision there. Mikey went helmet to helmet with one of the Marauder players, dropped the ball, and from up here it looked like Mariner had the ball, so I've got to think Mikey wrestled it away from him. It is going to, however, bring up a 4th and 2 on the 7-yard line. This is a huge play coming up for both teams.
Remember, it's a 4-point deficit, not a 3-point.
Right, with 5:17 to go here in the game, and the clock continues to tick.
Yeah, the way Mountlake Terrace has been running the ball, I would have been shocked if they don't go for it. Obviously, they are.
5:05 to go here. This might be the ball game. Hand off to Bishop. Bishop spins off of one player. He's still running into the end zone. Touchdown, Terrace. Jordan Bishop with his first varsity touchdown as a Hawk gives Terrace the lead with 4:56 to go.
Jordan Bishop with the legs. Now, he would have had the first down if he went down earlier in that, but he just kept the legs churning, and it was one defender after another. He kept running through. That's a nice Marshawn Lynch touchdown right there.
33-31, 4:56 remaining in regulation.
So if you go for 2, Angelo Camo won't have to worry about doing overtime.
I don't think they care about that right now. They are lining up for the PAT. Not the NFL, by the way, so we're still kicking from the 2.5-yard line, whereas the NFL this year moving it back 15 yards. Be interesting if you did that in high school. I think you'd have a lot more misses. Whistle blows. Need a clean snap here. Drew Clippert, the senior, will be snapping the ball. Tanner Munnis, the holder. Mikey Jensen, the kicker. And these guys have been doing this for a while, too, by the way. Clippert has been long snapping. Did a little bit his freshman year, but has had that position since his sophomore year. Jensen was the kicker both his freshman and sophomore year. Ivan Melkor was the kicker last year, and then Jensen's kicking again this year. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Mountlake Terrace back out on top by 3, 34-31. You do not want to go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the Mariner Marauders with a chance to answer. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
And welcome back to Edmonds Stadium. Anthony Smith already with 4 touchdowns tonight. Looking to get something going, dancing around, looking for the sideline, still on his feet, cuts back again, and is finally brought down at the 39-yard line. A very late flag flying in at the end, by the way. Should say the 4th lead change. We're hoping, as Mountlake Terrace fans, not for a 5th lead change. We'd like it to stay this way. By the way, that was called on Mountlake Terrace, a personal foul, so Mariner taking their first snap from scrimmage in Mountlake Terrace territory. 47 yards away from the goal line. They trail by 3, 34-31. J.J. Walker.
Dynamite.
I think about it every time. That's going to be snapped directly to Jabari Baker. I kept looking for a flag, and there was not one.
I was too. It looked ugly, but he never did grab the face mask. He got underneath the face mask and just ripped him down. But
Jordan Bishop, that was close to a face mask. It was close to a horse collar. To Mark Stewart's credit, I'm looking at him talk to the referee. I think he agreed with it. Mark Stewart was a heck of a linebacker back in his day. He likes physical contact. And he's
maybe
okay
not
with
against
that
his team, but yeah, for it to be right on the sideline of Mariner and the refs to have the discipline not to throw the flag, it's pretty good. And it was a violent takedown too, so it's almost like out of pity you might want to throw the flag, but good first down defensive stop for Mountlake Terrace.
That was a 2-yard loss. We're looking at a 2nd and 12 with 3:57 to go here in the ball game. Walker takes the snap. He eludes a set of Terrace tacklers and finally is brought down as Jordan Bishop again stepping up. Looked as though Mikey Jensen had him wrapped low. Bishop takes him down high, and that is a nice little gain there for Walker. Picks up 5 yards, but he pays for it. And unfortunately for the Hawks, Mikey Jensen now the one on the ground. It looks like it might be a cramp. Going to stretch out that leg over there and try to get him back and ready to go. 3rd and 7 coming up. 3:37 left. The clock now continues to tick. Surely this has to be 4-down territory for Mariner.
A field goal will tie it for Mariner.
Not within field goal range at this point, obviously. Notice that when Alex Angelos kicks that ball, he doesn't get a lot of loft on it. I don't know what kind of a leg he has. I'm guessing that he probably needs to be within the 15-yard line or so to feel good about his kick. Walker looking for some room. Tries to spin off of a couple of would-be tacklers. Doesn't get much more space, though. He does get down to the 42. Give him a 3-yard pickup. 4th and 4 coming up. Clock now under 3 minutes to go here.
I think we can call this a pretty big play. Now, even if Terrace does stop them on this and get the ball over on downs, so it'll be about 2.5 minutes left on the clock. And
here we go, 2:39 left. Walker in shotgun formation. Fakes the handoff, drops back to pass, looking over the middle, firing towards his receiver, incomplete. Anthony Allen got turned around. He was open for a brief moment as Michael Liddell coming over there to try to make a play. Fortunately for the Hawks, I think Allen and Walker not quite on the same page that time, and Mountlake Terrace now will have the ball. 2:31 left in the ball game. And oh, by the way, Mariner only 1 timeout remaining. So the Hawks possibly 151 seconds away from winning this game. Again, Mariner 1 timeout remaining. We're going to see a lot of running and probably a lot of Mikey Jensen, quite frankly. As soon as I say that, of course, he hands off to Bishop. Bishop cutting his way into the middle of the field for about a 4-yard pickup. Mariner electing to not use that timeout yet. .213 and counting. So Mountlake Terrace using their final timeout of the game. 2nd and 5, their own 46-yard line. Jensen keeps the ball, gets forward to the 50. He's going to be short by about a yard.
I think Mountlake Terrace can get 1 first down. That should do it for him, but that's a big if.
Little extracurricular after the play. The referees swallow the whistles. They did not call anything. Hey, before we forget here, as we await the next play, great job by our staff here today. We got Brandon Truesdale in the house. He's a pro too. This is a guy who started off on HBN, graduated, doing a lot of work for Teresa Whipple now and doing some other things. And
wearing the Mork from Mork headsets today.
This is Angelo Como's prized pupil right here. He's one of his. Oh, Terrace goes forward for the first down, and that might do the ball game right there. Mikey Jensen picks up 7 with 1:11 to go. So we've got Brandon helping us out tonight. Kirsten Zeller, Eli Longanchor getting his first action for us of the year, the sophomore, along with Angelo Camo. Teresa Whipple was here for a little bit. And by the way, Teresa not able to stay for the whole game. Our executive producer, who along with Angelo makes this all happen, her son Ian is getting married this weekend to his lovely to-be bride Carly. So we wish both of them all the best and for a happy wedding. So Mikey Jensen keeping the ball. Gets forward for about a yard, 42 seconds to go on the clock. Still waiting for Mariner to call that timeout, and they do not. I think they recognize the fact that this game might be over.
I'm surprised Mountlake Terrace is even running it. Why not just get it and kneel? Because
yeah, I was thinking the same thing a minute ago, and we saw that almost worked against them last year in the Glacier Peak game when we were ready for them to start taking a knee, and they fumbled the ball and got away with one, quite frankly, and still managed to win that game. 13 seconds to go. Mariner has yet to use that final timeout unless the scoreboard is wrong. I don't know. It's not necessarily the official numbers up there. 2-1, and the clock hits triple zeros. The ball game is over. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks win their season opener. The final score 34-31. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap this up and we'll get our player of the game. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network. And welcome back to Edmonds Stadium. Our final score once again, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks defeating the Mariner Marauders 34-31. We're waiting for our Adrenaline Sports Player of the Game. Now, for over 20 years, Adrenaline Fundraising has been raising more money in less time for Washington schools. We are so confident in our fundraising program that we guarantee your results. Whether your team is looking for traditional fundraisers like gold cars or cookie dough, or you want to explore new technology fundraisers that leverage your network, we are here to help. Visit adrenalinefundraising.com to connect your local rep today. For Adrenaline Sports Player of the Game, posing for that with Angelo Camo. We got that, so we're about to, there we go, we're holding up the shirt right now. So Adrenaline Sports, our new sponsor for the Player of the Game, and Mikey is in fact our first recipient. Got Dad Ken out there in the hallway too. He looks like a proud papa.
Oh yeah.
34-31. You threw for 3 touchdowns tonight. You came about a yard away from a 4th one.
I know.
Congratulations. Tell us what it's like to be the starting quarterback for the Mountlake Terrace Hawks.
New position this year. Haven't really took on this in high school yet. So it's kind of nice being the leader of the team and proving everyone wrong right now.
Now, usually when players start their first game at quarterback at the varsity level, you see a little bit of a struggle. There's nerves. They're not used to it. It's the bright lights, albeit it's in the daylight here. But your first real action, and you just came out here like you've been doing this all along. Any nerves going into this game?
No, I've been playing varsity for 3 years, so I'm kind of used to this. So just this new position, took care of it.
Now, talk about that first quarter a little bit. It's got to be nice to have somebody like Daniel Johnson to throw the ball to. Have you guys been working on timing? Because you guys look like you've been playing catch forever.
Yeah, we throw a lot of goes at practice. He's going up and getting them for me. So.
Yeah, 6'4". That's not a bad option to have there, right?
No kidding.
Now, on that third pass, is he going to give you a hard time because you might have floated it up a little bit longer than you wanted to, but you still got the completion,
I
right?
know. I thought that was going to be a pick for sure, but it went over his head and got it for a touchdown, so I'm happy.
So now the passing game was working for you, but also the running game tonight. You had, unofficially, we had you down for 25 carries. That's a lot of carries for a tailback, let alone a quarterback who's also playing defense. So how did you feel about carrying the ball tonight? Were you able to get things going early and just felt like, hey, this is working, let's keep doing it?
Yeah, I've been playing running back for varsity and JV the last few years, so I'm kind of used to it. So it's kind of more of a two-player position in that.
So you were
quarterback and running back.
You're running the ball 25 times. You're passing for almost 4 touchdowns. You're playing linebacker. You're punting. You're doing the kickoffs.
Kicking,
you tired?
I'm pretty tired.
You should be. But hey, it's worth it when you win 34-31, right?
That's true. It was a fun game.
Now, what did you and your teammates? Obviously, a lot of new personnel this year. First of all, talk to us a little bit about what it's like to play for Coach Dugan and the staff. It's got to be helpful that he's already been on the staff in the past and you guys kind of know each other. But
yeah, I grew up playing in the youth program. He was my head coach for a few years, so we've been good friends for a while. So
not a lot of adapting there for you.
Yeah, I like him as a head coach for sure.
So moving forward, again, 34 points tonight. You guys got Meadowdale coming up next week. Are we feeling pretty good about the team as we
I'm about
go?
to watch them right now and then see what we got to do to get a victory next week.
See, the guy's tired, but he's still already looking at anticipating scouting the next game, so he's getting ready for Meadowdale. Hey, Mikey, again, 79 yards rushing. You almost threw for 4 touchdowns. You threw for 3. Had some nice tackles on defense, and just an all-around great game, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll let you get down and celebrate with your teammates. And once again, let's just show this shirt off one more time. Thanks to our friends at Adrenaline Sports. Mikey Jensen. For over 20 years, Adrenaline Fundraising has been raising more money in less time for Washington schools. We are so confident in our fundraising program that we guarantee your results. Whether your team is looking for traditional fundraisers like gold cars or cookie dough, or you want to explore new technology fundraisers that leverage your network, we are here to help. Visit adrenalinefundraising.com to connect to your local rep today. John Clippard wants his stats, so I guess we won't have a chance to read those. Here, we'll read them really quick here. Mikey Jensen, 79 yards rushing. Jordan Bishop, by the way, unofficially 103 yards rushing tonight. He had a nice game. And Daniel,
Nice game, especially this last drive. The last 2 drives, not just killing the clock, the last one, but obviously leading to the score the drive before that took him ahead. So great second half for the running game. For Terrace.
First half, Daniel Johnson, he's going to be something special this year.
A junior.
Only a junior, yeah. So there's a little bit more time with him. Once again, the Hawks getting off on the right note, 34-31. Big game coming up, a conference game next week against Meadowdale, and a team that, I'm rooting for them tonight against Lake Stevens. I think it might be a long night, but a team that's going to get a very good workout here this evening, and they'll be ready to jump into league play as well next week.
Yeah, it's not a league game tonight, but you get to find out what your team's made of. It's always nice to find out what your team's made of with the win. So you have the confidence, you get a little bit of the swagger going into this coming week of practice. It's their first week of school, so hopefully they're not too distracted. But things look good for Mountlake Terrace.
Yeah, one other stat I wanted to point out here, I didn't notice this until just now, 312 yards of total offense for the Hawks, 155 passing, 157 rushing. Nice balance. And that's something you certainly want moving forward. So again, getting ready for the Meadowdale Lake Stevens game, a game we will not be broadcasting here tonight. So get on over to the stadium if you want to see that. Doubleheader next week, 5 p.m., Edmonds Woodway versus Kamiak, 8 p.m., Mountlake Terrace versus Meadowdale. For everyone on our crew, thank you for watching tonight. Once again, the final score, Mountlake Terrace 34, Mariner 31. Hawks win. Hawks are undefeated to start the season. You've been watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. Have a good night.